been here 23 times, and I wouldn't miss it for anything, because I think that what goes on here in this pagoda is so important. And before now I have called it a lighthouse, and it is a lighthouse over to the M1, shining out a different kind of light. It's not just a piece of being peaceful and quiet and being holy. As I see it, the monks and nuns in this community have real peace, and that is to say, peace built on internal calm and spirituality and external fight for justice, because real peace depends on justice in this world. When I was a young soldier in Northern Ireland, I thought Belfast was a peaceful place. No one was killing anybody. 1948. What I did not know, I did not realize that under the surface there was sense of frustration, indignation, separation, and eventually exploded into our own British Civil War. Peace and justice go hand in hand, and this pagoda is a lighthouse of peace and justice. People say to me sometimes, but nothing ever changes. You go on praying and talking, nothing ever changes. Excuse me, nothing ever changes. We actually do have now an international criminal court. It was hard work, but it's not perfect, but it actually exists. We have a ban on landmines, which many countries are observing. We have a ban on cluster bombs, which many countries are observing. We've seen some major changes. Not long ago, Mr. Des Brown, our Secretary of State for Defense, went to Geneva. And anyway, in Geneva, he mentioned Aldermaston. I think many of you will have been to Aldermaston, know Aldermaston. It's where we make our bombs, Aldermaston. And Des Brown held up a vision of a world without any nuclear weapons, in which Aldermaston would be a factory of dismantling, not of creating, using the skills of those scientists. It was kind of a bit of a bolt from the blue. Optimism is there. I remember when people were writing in 1988 about the division of Europe into two halves. A distinguished journalist said, oh, the world will be divided this way forever. And within 9 months, the Berlin Wall and all that business began to crumble, and we began to develop a different kind of Europe. There are changes, and certainly on the nuclear side, very positive changes. There is now a practical possibility, if we put our energies into it, that when it comes to the year 2010, they can start to negotiate the abolition of all nuclear weapons. It won't happen unless we are pushing and pushing and pushing. It is indeed a possibility. Today on the radio there was a man whose son had been stabbed to death in South London. Some of you may have heard him. It was a most profound speech, because he said, perhaps all this awfulness of street violence will make people think again about the way we run our society. How normal violence is on television, how our memorials are so often memorials about victories or wars and so on. How we don't ever ask about the limits of personal wealth, with up and up and up, other people starving elsewhere. People are beginning to realize there is a food crisis, there is an energy crisis, there is a nuclear weapon crisis. And so I think the doors of rethinking are beginning to open up. And this lighthouse is certainly showing the way in, so people can start to think in a different kind of way. I am really deeply grateful for the witness that has come from this community over so many years. And sometimes at the beginning with prejudice and hostility, I remember it very well, but now with deep respect. And now another pagoda, of course, down in Battersea, facing Cheney Walk and the other side of the Thames. And all around the world, these little lighthouses are showing out. I have to say, I wish every religious community in our country was a similar witness for justice and peace in the same kind of way as these people are here. So thank you all very much indeed for coming, and thank you, monks and nuns, so much for your positive, ongoing witness for peace and justice. God bless you all. Thank you.